The cave's waterfalls have their sources from extremes, just as it splashes down naturally. The waterfall forms a pool at the base, which is a tourist attraction. The water moves further to join a nearby supernatural lake, Obori, from which its final destination could be traced to Omambala River. This is Owerri Ezukala Cave. The Owerri Ezukala Cave belongs to the limestone caverns family, formed by solution process, beautiful limestone of great sizes and shapes, among other solid minerals that is found within the cave environment. This cave measures not less than 10 kilometers in length, extending to Ishiama, Nkuli, and Olo axis of Enugu State and Amuda Isuochi area of Abia State.
The road leads to Enugu State?
Yes.
From this place?
Yeah.
Can we see the road? Yeah, you can see the road. The road is well made.
The Owerri Ezukala Cave and Waterfalls is one of Anambra's unsung wonders of nature.
Did you know that PTV remains the best place to showcase those lovely goods and services of yours? Yes, with our visibility in 36 states of Nigeria and over 50 countries of the world, we definitely have the tallest reach. What are you waiting for? Book your adverts now. Call us with the number displayed on your screen.
On topical issues as always, Nigeria right now. Come on.
Gaskiya wuta noma.
So that's it. This is Nigeria right now. Action. Yes, this is Nigeria right now with Vixen Irebu, and of course we're at Honorable Tony Nwolo's place. Tony Nwolo is the sponsor of the Not Too Young to Run bill. Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
You are very important to us right now. This is Honorable Tony Nwolo. Tony Nwolo is the sponsor of the Not Too Young to Run bill. Honorable.
Thank you.
How did you manage to think out or even to convince yourself about sponsoring the Not Too Young to Run bill? Because the president in his democracy address talked about to sign that bill. That became an issue, and that's why we're here in your place.
Yeah, it was born out of the genuine passion to have the young people occupy our political space. There's been a great injustice done to the young people of this country. I feel we get to play in most other spheres, but you hardly see any of us, just few of us in the political space. So, and you know, if you think about the fact that most of the old people we have today all started when they were very young, and they've remained there.
Yeah.
I think that heightens the injustice.
But when they started, right, there was no law that enabled their emergence in the political space. So how did we need a law to get the young people in the political space?
The question you should ask is, why was there a law in the first place that should limit people from participating or being? If we agree in the Constitution, the drafters of the Constitution deemed it right that at 18 you're eligible to vote. Why didn't they also allow 18 to be voted for?
So, but in this bill, is 18 eligible to be voted for?
No, in this bill, 18 is not eligible, but we've
reduced
that, and we hope, it's my desire that somehow the next assembly will continue to improve upon this until we get it to that which is obtainable in most other climes. We're not saying that we're hoping to see an 18-year-old occupy the position,
but to leave the space for anybody to
why would you want
to aspire?
Good. Why would what in their own thinking made them limit or set the limit they did?
But that will also be queried in the future when they come with, let's allow 18, since 18 is eligible to vote. Someone will also ask, what were they thinking? You know, even limiting 18.
How old was Gowon and Co?
Gowon was 29.
Even in the military when they started. So why is it that in the civilian, the democratic setting, you now have the age being applied? How old was Obasanjo? How old was T.Y. Danjuma?
How old was Ojukwu when he took us to war?
That is exactly my point. So why is it that when it now got to democracy, the drafters
limiting the
why do we have that? If not just an outright injustice to the young people of this country.
But I was also wondering that the president would have just announced on Democracy Day that congratulations, Nigerians, especially the young people, that the bill, the Not Too Young to Run bill, have assented to it. But this one is still another promise. And you're a member of the APC.
No, I'm a member of the PDP.
Oh, you're a member of the PDP?
Yes.
I asked because I thought it would have been a good gift for Democracy Day.
It's not bad. It's not late yet. If Mr. President has announced that in the next couple of days he's going to sign the bill, it's good enough. If days run into weeks,
and weeks run into months,
then you begin to ask, why didn't you keep to your promise? But if Mr. President has simply said, in a matter of days could be tomorrow, days could be next tomorrow.
True.
Days could be Saturday. We still have this week.
And days could be after May 2019.
No, I don't see that. I don't think that's what Mr. President meant when he said so. I would want us to, first and foremost, I want to commend Mr. President for that bold step. At the same time that I've commended the respective state assemblies that assented to the bill and the National Assembly itself for the support. This bill wouldn't have seen the light of the day without the National Assembly supporting it. The leadership of the both chambers stood by this bill. It made this bill break a record. It became the first bill that was hastily It was the fastest to go through the second reading. In the history of the National Assembly.
But I'm also wondering, you're young, and how did you get to the political space? Because lots of young people do not care about politics. So with this bill right now, how will that...
Would I really agree with you that most young people don't care? I think they do. The problem is sometimes mentoring. Some young people they also need some form of direction, which is not a wrong thing. If from different formations, the churches, the mosques, our social gatherings, we begin to let people understand the need for them to participate actively in politics, because that lies the decision that would affect their future. You know, I think we have a vibrant young generation that are upwardly mobile, and all you need is just that thing, and they will key into it, and that's what we've seen with the Not Too Young to Run. Many young people have keyed in from different, funny enough, young Nigerians in different states persuaded their assemblies to ensure that this is passed. Most of them held rallies in many states.
Will you say the Not Too Young to Run bill, inspired the avalanche of young aspirants for presidential position in 2019?
It did.
It did.
And the funny thing about it is that even the older politicians are now telling you that they are also not too young to run. Or they are telling you that they are not too young to run compliant. No,
okay. Not too young to run compliant.
Because I've seen in some posters that are coming out of.
Yes.
We're not trying to remove them from power. But what we're trying to do is also to let them understand that yes,
there should be room.
There should be space. Let that space be there for the younger generation. And let's begin to have that generational bridge where you can transfer some knowledge, wisdom of what you've acquired over the years to the younger people, so that we don't have a lacuna at the end of the...
Going by our own climate, going by the Nigerian environment, will you say it will be right for a young person to be president of Nigeria in 2019?
Why wouldn't it be right?
I ask because
if you ask
what experience are these young people? What
experience did Obasanjo bring to power when he
was a military man?
Yes, and then what makes military different from civilian?
They came through the barriers of the gun.
They came through the barriers of the gun. We are talking about leadership now, not how you came.
Yes. Okay.
So we're not talking about how you came.
Okay.
If you come through voting,
and
as a young person, you have responsibility. It's saddled upon you. Before I got to National Assembly, I didn't go for any formal training on how to be a lawmaker.
I'm also wondering how you made it from Lagos. You're not from Lagos State. You made it from... you are representing the Isolo
Federal Constituency.
Yes. And you're from Imo State.
Yes. Constitutionally, you are allowed to.
I know constitutionally, but I'm just wondering how you were able to find your way around all that had to do with the discrimination and all
the
that.
vibrancy of the young people. A young man can do a whole lot of things. You go out there, venture, and then put the rest in God. Do your own part. That's the most important thing I always tell people. God would always lead and direct those that call upon Him. You know why you want to get into a leadership position, because if you see it as power, then that is what you're seeing it as. For me, I choose to see any office as a call to leadership.
Okay. Well, we'll come back. This is Nigeria Right Now with Dixon Irebu. And of course, we have a young Nigerian, the sponsor of the Not Too Young to Run bill, Honorable Tony Nwolo. It's been engaging, and I'm sure that lots of young people out there are listening right now and probably dusting up whatever they should to join politics. If he could do it, why not? We'll be right back. Nigeria Right Now, poised to engender patriotism.
I ask my colleagues, my friends, that I endorse this program, and I want them to continue to patronize this program so that people out there will know exactly what is happening to Nigeria right now.
I advise Nigerians all over to watch Nigeria Right Now.
Well done, and keep up the good work. You're welcome back. This is still Nigeria Right Now with Dixon Irebu, and we have the sponsor of the Not Too Young to Run Bill, Honorable Tony Nwodo. He's been our guest, and we are really now some of those areas that has to do with young people getting involved in politics and why we should, in fact, get involved. Honorable, I heard that you're aspiring higher. Is that true?
You're not wrong.
I'm not wrong. So this power thing, therefore, once you test it, you want to keep going.
No.
You're going for governorship ahead.
No, not when you test power, like I told you earlier. It's a call to leadership.
Who does this call? Is it the people?
No. Sometimes the people, like in my own case.
Yes.
I was far away in Harvard when young people organized themselves across the 27 local governments. They came out in their thousands, in their droves. I was touched.
That's Imo now,
In
not
Imo
Lagos.
State. Imo State.
Yes.
You know, they came out, organized themselves. I can ask you to do your independent inquiry and investigation. The people that came out, I've never met any of them before. Not one. Not one of the individuals have I met.
They come out in thousands.
They came out in thousands. I was in Harvard when the pictures broke out.
Asking that what?
That I should return home and
home.
run for governorship in the States. I think the Not Too Young to Run thing also played a role and all that, you know. That's my own thinking, actually, because I started, you know, why the whole thing? I know there had been talks here and there, Tony, come and run for governorship, but you know, the fact that the young people, why am I most touched about this? This demography are the most affected, the unemployed. Several things go on there that is wrong about the young Nigerians. A lot of them live in despair. Totally, they don't know what tomorrow seems to hold for them. So, and coming from a state like mine in Imo State, where everything has been awesome.
That's my state too. So.
Yeah, you know, so Imo State is not a state where you're called to come and run for governorship and you clap and dance through.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when somebody calls you, they understand the enormous job or task ahead. They know that the state needs to be salvaged. They know that the state is at the brink of collapse. You understand? It's a state that is sinking deep.
But Honorable, you see, I'm wondering, why haven't we heard someone like you say something about
the administration?
The kind of leadership that we have in the States.
It is very convenient for most politicians to do so.
So
run down people. No, I don't.
You don't?
No, I don't.
Even when you are in the opposition?
When I'm in the opposition, I believe that there are two things that would always happen to every person that finds himself in a position of leadership. One is that posterity will judge you when you're done. Two is that the electorates would have their votes to decide during the next poll. Those are the two things you can do. Other than that, the other constitutional things is if you think the person has committed impeachable offenses, then the State Assembly will do their job.
So when in the opposition, you couldn't engage, you couldn't make the government in power to realize that people are watching.
But obviously,
because he got to a state where it's like a shameful day to come from Imo State.
Obviously, you know we have leaders that lead with impunity. We have rulers, not leaders. We have people that are power drunk. We have persons in power that appear to suffer from some hearing impairment.
Is that the way you would describe the current leadership in Imo State?
The current leadership in Imo State is the only way I would describe it is something I told you. After he leaves office, posterity will judge you.
No, describe for me. You're from Imo State.
Yeah.
Are you appalled in any way by the state of things in your state?
Who shouldn't be?
If you are, what is the state? How will you describe the current leadership in Imo State? in your own words?
You know, I have seen people use clueless. I don't want to say clueless.
It's already said already.
Would I say rudderless? No. I think everything you're asking me is already out there in the public. In a state where pensioners are not paid, civil servants are not paid, infrastructure is decaying. Those that you inherited has decayed under you. And let me tell you one truth. When you talk about administration, like I said earlier, it is very convenient for any other person, most politicians, to sit down, take a swipe at to curry public sentiments. I am not that kind of politician. I am not focusing on what the current administration has done right or wrong. I am not going to go after him as an individual. If you strengthen the institutions will do their job. I don't think it's about going after people like most people do. Let me get to office and then I'll jail you. It is not you. You're not the state. We begin to understand that, yes, you're leading, but strengthening the institutions, the capacity to be able to even proactively stop most of the things. The governor is just one person. Let's not forget that. Away from the governor, you have the commissioners that should do their jobs.
The commissioners are not elected. The governor is the one
the commissioners are
elected. Yes.
Are they doing their jobs?
If they are not doing their jobs, somebody should take responsibility.
You have the state assembly.
Yes.
That should be there to check the governor. What are they doing? What are they doing? So if you allow, if the institutions that are supposed to function, that are supposed to perform the oversight on the executive, not do what they are meant to do, then you have a total collapse of the system.
Okay, let's bring this.
Now you have a man that believes that he can call the whole shot because probably a whole lot of people are compromised. That is the truth about it.
Compromised. What is it that would be termed being compromised in politics?
Well, when we talk about compromise, it means when you leave what you're supposed to do at the state assembly to come begging for crumbs from the governor's table. Then you forget you let off what makes you an independent arm of government.
Does this also apply to the center?
It applies everywhere.
So how well is the House of Reps, where you are a member, how well have they been able to do
you must have seen that at the federal level,
yes,
right from the beginning of this section,
yes,
there has been no love lost between the executive and the legislative.
Yes, so Nigerians will say, yes, we've seen conflict, all right, but not headed to anywhere. Because after the conflict, we see you end up probably having a closed-door meeting with the executive, and you come out all smiling.
Also realize that
yes,
it is a process of resolution. You cannot be in conflict in perpetuity. Conflicts would always come, even in war.
Yes,
there's always room for resolution, and resolution can only come true when you dialogue. So we're not. You can't. It's democracy.
So the executive arm and the legislative arm are not at war.
The closed room sections happen everywhere, in every democratic life, in the United States, everywhere where there are issues of conflict. It is established that this is an issue of conflict, and then you go into closed door negotiations on how to resolve.
Okay, Honorable, your party, the People's Democratic Party, right? What happened? Everybody seemed to be like there's no strong opposition against the ruling party.
I don't agree with you when you say there is no strong opposition within the ruling party.
The school of thought will say PDP is mostly reactionary in its approach, not setting the pace, unlike when the APC was in the opposition. They were setting the agenda, engaging, and so much so that they got power from.
I think
is your party ready to come to power?
I think I have seen maturity on the part of PDP too, which you will not take away. You see, someone can be cantankerous. Yes. It doesn't mean you're making any sense. You know, yes, APC got into power making so much noise. Power has been given to them. How well have they managed it?
How well have they managed it?
That's exactly what Nigerians now would have to judge. You know, it's not enough for someone to make noise. I want this cup, I want this cup. I want this cup. If I get this cup, I will perform magic, I will do this, I will do that with this cup. Okay, fine. You've told Nigerians, cried and wailed, you wanted this cup. Nigerians have handed you over this cup.
Do what you want to do.
It is not left for Nigerians to make their choice. Like I keep saying, at the end of the day, the ultimate decision lies with the electorate. It is not just enough for anybody to turn around and condemn the government in power or anybody or any politician in power. The question is, how well have you done when you were supposed to vote? Most times I also take this back to the electorate. Any politician that comes out to bribe you, to give you money to vote for him, any politician that you see spending hundreds of millions to get into office, if you have a way of taking money, take from the man and run away from him. Don't vote him into power. Because most of them believe they have, for any young person, that they give 10,000 naira, 50, 100, 1 million to perpetrate violence and all the electoral malpractices that they do. They have also paid you for your unemployment.
Already ahead.
Ahead of time. They have also paid you for poor medical infrastructures and facility. They've actually paid you for, they've mortgaged you into slavery. And they've paid not just you, but your family members. Because when you have a family member that is sick, I know how many people within the last couple of months that died in Imo State simply because they were rushed to the hospital and there was no oxygen in the government hospital.
Hold on to your thoughts. It's getting there, and we will get to that stage where the Honorable will unveil his dream and ambition, and indeed his plans for Imo people. We'll be right back. So you're saying that bottom approach to governance is what you want to do?
Transparency and prudency. Allow them, let the people know what is being allocated to the local government, what they are getting at the end of the day, so that you know you're close to your people. One, you're through the process of the election. Through election, not fixing your cronies. Hold on that. I would not. You're catching me on tape on this. I would not. And one of the things I promised them is that 2 months into my administration, elections will be held.
Into the local government offices.
Elections will be held. Free, fair, credible elections. Monitored by people. Let the people choose who they want. It does not matter which party.
Honorable Tony, let's bring you back to the national scene before we round up. 2019. Who's your candidate for president?
Oh, wow. I don't think
or you want the present administration to continue?
I don't think it's time for that yet.
Do you want to give another opportunity to this government?
You know the problem we have. You know the problem we have also.
Yeah.
With this question you just asked me, is that in Nigeria, 80% of the time we're practicing, up to 80% of the time we're practicing chimpanzee politics.
What is this chimpanzee politics?
Good. Chimpanzee politics is that politics. You know, in the chimpanzee kingdom, all they do is politics 70% of the time.
Really?
Yes, go and read up. What they keep plotting is how to maneuver, how to defeat, how to dethrone. They are territorial fighters. So 70% of the time, they are negotiating power. That is what happens. You can go.
So what's going on now? Is power being negotiated?
That is the chimpanzee politics. 70% of what is going on among politicians is chimpanzee politics. Then 30% leadership. But Nigeria will move forward when we do 70% leadership, 30% politics.
Chimpanzee. All right. Nigeria will move forward when we do 70% leadership and 30% chimpanzee politics. That's from Honorable Tony Nwolo. Of course, you've heard that he is going for governorship in Imo State. He's reeled out a bit of what he has as his mission going to Imo State. That's the Glass House, isn't it? And then he's also talked about what should be held, how he should be held on some of these things he said here. On arrival, 2 months into office, he'll be conducting the local government and councillorship elections and all of that, saying that bottom approach to governance, that is taking leadership or governance to the people, is his mission in Imo State. He's also talked about how that he wants to leave certain steps, footprints behind for young people to follow. That money politics is not the only way out but that you should think about those leadership qualities that will make you have social capital with which to negotiate power. And that's Nigeria right now for today. I hope you've picked a few of things from the Honorable who sponsored the Not Too Young to Run bill. That's a very important bill in our country today. I look forward to seeing you next week. Same station. Nigeria right now.
This is Nigeria, just because I'm on TV now. Person who no get work is checking to see if my watch is original. This is Nigeria, whether Madam Philomena. Money vanish for your office, 36 million, you tossing an animal. This is Nigeria, never any recession. When looters and killers and stealers are still contesting election. Politicians with thieves, some billion and billion, you know they go prison. Police station they close by 6. Security reason.
This is a road. Our road. The road used to be good. Now, the road is not so good.
Come on for road now.
We tried to manage the road like that.
In the next 5 minutes, I will be there.
Some of us didn't even care. But there are other options. This is a road. Our road. The road used to be good. Now, the road is not so good.
Come on for road now.
We tried to manage the road like that.
In the next 5 minutes, I will be there.
Get involved.
my Ovation TV lovers. Welcome to a brand new week and a brand new edition of the show. My name is Dala Oruwari, and we have such an amazing lineup for you today that I cannot wait to get into today's event. We kick off the show today with our Ovation Platinum Wedding, and this is a traditional engagement ceremony between Folashade Suleiman and Gbolahan Omodara, and this took place in Lagos, Nigeria.
Like an angel in the morning, shooting star across the night.
It was indeed the day the Lord had made, as friends, family, as well as well-wishers of the Suleiman family from the Ojora royal family of Lagos and Omodara family from Akure South, Ondo State, gathered at the Civic Center, Victoria Island, Lagos, for the traditional wedding of their children, Folashade Suleiman and Gbolahan Omodara. The groom, Gbolahan, who works as a supervisor at Amazon, United Kingdom, is a 2010 mechanical engineering graduate of the University of Ado-Ekiti, while the bride, Folashade, a finance expert who met Gbolahan through a friend in London in 2012, is the daughter of London-based socialite and property merchant Wasiu Durojaye Suleiman. She is also a niece to Lagos socialite Joke Shogunro. The traditional wedding, which was colorful and culture, had in attendance notable guests including the daughter of late Afrobeat king Yeni Kuti and Nollywood actress Bisi Ibidapo Obe, amongst others.
Amorawa.
kẹ́ wọn. Gbogbo àwọn táwa ìwà láyé táwa ṣe ayẹyẹ lẹ́nìí tó bá wà níjọ́ nǹkan ẹ̀yẹ tí wọn lọ́wọ́ gbàjọ́ má jẹ́ ká àga wa má jẹ́ kó ṣòfò ọlọ́run kó jẹ́ kí a tó nǹkan wa lè ṣe ọlá àti tóbi ọlọ́run. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala al-mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Thank you.
ṣe wàhálà, àwọn tí ó lè dìde ó sì máa ní ṣòro.
Next, the Oni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Enitan Ogunwusi, launched the first of its kind literature book which details the life of the historic Yoruba legend Queen Moremi Ajasoro in Ile-Ife.
What we are doing today is remarkable. We are marking this. We are preserving our culture and tradition. I want everybody to see this as a call to serve. We of us, I think being an Oba is a calling. The way Pastor has calling, the way Imam has calling, we have calling. And our calling is to serve our people. Moremi has set the example. I pray each and every one of us that Almighty God will endow us with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding so that we can coexist peacefully to development of our domain of Nigeria, of Yoruba land. God bless us to our nation. God bless Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Àwọn táwọn àmìlẹ̀ ní ó ní àwọn ọmọ táwọn ti sọnù àwọn ọmọ wà táwọn ọ̀pá àwọn ọmọ táwọn náà ni pé a fẹ́ mọ bí ọ̀rọ̀ Moremi ti jẹ́ tó bá gbọ́ ìbò la máa sọ kò lè yé wa.
Táàbà ń ṣerú àwọn ọmọ báyìí gbogbo ìtàn wa gbogbo àṣà wa gbogbo ẹ̀ ló máa lọ òyìnbó gbọ́dọ̀ wá gbé àṣà wa lọ. Nígbà táwa náà wà tó dá jẹ́ ọmọ tó ń dàgbà bọ̀ a kàn máa ń gbórí ní kó tó dé bá ìṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ kàgbé kí wọ́n máa ń kọ́ tó máa ń kọrin fún wa orin yẹn dẹ̀ dùn tá a máa ń kọ́ ìwọ́n ti kọ́ fún wa bí Moremi Ajasoro Moremi Ajasoro èwo lè lẹ́nu bàbá tó. So when we hear such song we are happy. The lyrics That is, let me assure you that we will continue to support anything that will continue to promote our culture, that will continue to promote who we are as a Yoruba race. So thank you. We will support this.
In the history of the Yorubas, the power and strength of a woman is actually demonstrated and captured by our heroine queen, Moremi Ajasoro, who will never be forgotten. She rose against all odds to save her people from harassment and invasions. It took her intuitive intervention and strong will to restore peace in Ile-Ife and save the entire Yoruba race from further intimidation and destruction.
Ìtàn ìlọ́lẹ̀ ní èyí ni wípé kí ọmọ tí a ò tí ì bí ó lè máa rántí ìtàn ọmọ rẹ̀ ní báwo lọmọ tí a ò tí ì bí ṣe máa rántí pẹ̀lú ìwé tí a kọ yìí ojúlówó ìwé tí a kọ yìí kí wọ́n bá lè máa kà á láti lè máa rántí ní tí ó ṣokùnfà gbogbo wa. As a lover of our history, I still wonder till date how Moremi managed to achieve all this. Say no to Moremi victory, say no to Yoruba land. Behold, I met a perfect match of her characteristics. Her Excellency, Mrs. Olufunso Amuso. She completely takes after Queen Moremi positively in all ramifications. Very beautiful, so amiable, intelligent, super humble, ever listening, just like Moremi Ajasoro herself. A round of applause for her. She is a perfect reference for the common saying behind a successful man, there is a woman. She has remained a strong pillar in the success of her husband as Ogun State Governor, Senator Ibekule Arusu. With inherent attributes of empathy, selflessness, humility, commitment to the courage of Moremi's legacy for the betterment of the entire black race. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to all rise and let us keep clapping for this great icon in a woman. Keep clapping for her, please.
The high point of the
Of course, you know that the way they say it, they will say no women, no nation. But talking seriously, we've seen them that indeed there is no place where you will get to and you will not see the impactful attributes of our women. Even in Nigeria here, even in Ogun State, even wherever that we find ourselves, you will see our women contributing positively to the development of maybe our state, our nation.
I would like women to know that the power and strength of a woman dates back to centuries ago, Our young women should be bold. They should know that they can achieve whatever they want to achieve. They shouldn't think about not being able to do anything. Moremi Ajashoro was an example that a woman can do anything that a woman wants to achieve in life.
Next, join us as the founder, Love of Christ Generation Church, Reverend Mother Esther Abimbola Ajayi, hosted some youths in Lagos to a press conference that took place at Sheraton in Lagos, Nigeria.
The founder, Love of Christ Generation Church, CNS, based in London, England, Reverend Mother Esther Abimbola Ajayi, is very passionate about growing the youth population of both the Cherubim and Seraphim Church and Celestial Church of Christ. In order to walk the talk, Reverend Mother Ajayi, who is also the founder of Esther Ajayi Foundation, hosted some of these youths from different parts of the world, including Nigeria, United Kingdom, and United States of America, to a press conference at the Sheraton Hotels and Suites, where the youth represented by Brother Kudus Patrick of the Cherubim and Seraphim Church and Sister Kehinde Akonde of the Celestial Church of Christ called on churches, both Pentecostal and Orthodox, to embrace unity and tolerance of one another in the quest to run the Christian race towards making heaven in the end.
Revelation 7 says, these are the ones who come out of great tribulation and have washed their robes and made them white in blood of Lamb. Therefore they are before the throne of God and serve him day and night in his temple, and sit on the throne and dwell among them. As you can see, this is from the Bible, and this is why we wear white garment, and this is why we do the things we do. The purpose of today's conference.
John 15:18 says, "If the world hates you, you know that it hated me before it hated you." We understand there are negative connotations about us, and we want to break those boundaries. We are Bible-believing churches, and we stand solely on the Word of God. Everything we do, from our mode of worship, the manifestation of the Holy Spirit, prophecy, tongues, and its interpretations are in the Bible. It says in 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 4 to 11. We stand proud as members of White Garment. It is not only a church we attend, but it's also our lifestyle. Our mission is to showcase transparency in what we believe in, and that is our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Reverend Mother Ajayi harped on the unity of churches in Christendom and called on those who have negative thought about white garment churches to have a change of heart.
Together as one big family, and then it's not just white garment. You know, the good thing about this is that as we are going, it's expanding. Christians coming together. There are loads and loads of Christians that are still coming together, even with us, and younger youth from other churches still coming to us. The Luli Concert Brothers, they were with us. The Luli concert is September the 21st. They are still with us on this. Every one of us, or every one of them say they are with us in this day. And some of them, they have said, I think they should have sent their data page. They are still coming along. They are from Nigeria, and they are still with us on the mission. Thank you.
It's going to be an amazing day. We're showcasing all our preachers. We're going to have Pastor Genesis coming all the way from Celestial. We're going to have Reverend Mother to be preaching the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ on that day. It's going to be a lovely experience, preaching the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ from a different point of view.
Comforter 2018. I was involved in the Comforter 2017. I was a part of the choir. This year, I'm a part of the outreach. So we're going out, we're spreading the word, we're raising awareness of the white garment and the event celebrating the Comforter 2018.
They are the future of tomorrow. They are our future. When you start thinking, in another 50 years, in another 70 years, what will happen to the white garment? Involving the youth is like bettering our tomorrow. And they are the inheritance of the Lord, the book of Psalm 127.
Now, here is the burial of Chief Roland Folorunsho Adesina in Ogun State.
Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Akinwumi Adesina, who is currently the president of the African Development Bank, ADB, alongside family members of the Adesina family from Ijebu-Igbo, Ogun State, recently hosted friends, associates and well-wishers to the burial ceremonies of his father, Chief Roland Folorunso Adesina, who passed on Saturday, May 28, 2018, at the age of 96. The two-day burial festivities for the late Chief Adesina, who lived an accomplished life, began at the Cathedral of St. James Ibadan with a commendation service.